Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a really interesting new recording of piano concertos by Beethoven and Reicha. Yeah, Anton Reicha. You know, they were both born in the same year, 1770. They were friends from childhood. They played in the Bonn Orchestra together. They got along really very well for most of their lives. Beethoven preferred to live in Vienna. Reicha hated Vienna and wound up in Paris. Beethoven thought his theoretical writings were crazy, but the two were simpatico for most of their careers. Reicha only wrote one piano concerto, and it's only been available in scores since about 2020 because the last bunch of bars were missing, and they only were recently discovered in 2018. And it's in E-flat, the same key as the Emperor Concerto. It's probably a little earlier or so, but it's about roughly the same period. It's a work of the classical style, but not quite, because it's Reicha, who was incredibly inquisitive and interesting and characterful. And even before he became a guy who experimented with bitonality and quarter tones and polyrhythms and things, he was very, very interesting. Or at least most of the time he was. And he invented the wind quintet and all kinds of other things. Anyway, this performance features Czech pianist Jan Bartoš, who's a wonderful, fabulous pianist, the Prague Radio Symphony Orchestra, and the Wiener Symphoniker, the Beethoven, conducted by Petr Popelka, who's also a very good conductor. And I have to say, it's a delightful disc. It's wonderful. First of all, the pairing makes sense. It's interesting, and it's historically apt, and Reicha's concerto is delicious. It's light and breezy and full of tunes and wit, and you can hear the funny bits and enjoy them. It's only 23 minutes long. It never outstays its welcome. It has no dead spots whatsoever. The first movement is wonderfully proportioned. It's not dragging endlessly. It doesn't have a separate cadenza either, really. Neither does Beethoven's Emperor. It's sort of a novelty. The slow movement is lovely. It's a beautiful, serene adagio. And the concluding rondo, I wish it went on longer. It is so much fun, full of rhythmic hijinks, and the tunes are just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. It's just a real discovery, this piece. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to listen to it and love it. You really will. And the Emperor Concerto, okay, there have been 1 billion performances of the Emperor Concerto, but I got to say, this is definitely one of the best to come along in many, many, many a moon. Quite some time. It's a vibrant, fresh, absolutely delightful performance of this work. It's grand, where it's supposed to be grand. The opening cadenza, or cadenza thing, the opening flourish, just erupts with like a geyser. The actual principal themes have tons of rhythm and propulsion. Dum ba da 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 dum bum ba da. It has impetus, largely because Popelka keeps the accompaniments moving. You hear the main theme, and the accompaniment is just chugga 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 chugga, and you can play that very boringly, or you can go chugga 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 chugga. Really give it some enthusiasm, and they do, and it's youthful and grand in the best way. It has no dead spots. It's just tremendous. The slow movement is beautifully phrased, fluent. It doesn't drag. It doesn't just sit around doing nothing. And the finale, the final rondo, oh my goodness, it just has so much bounce and life to it. The whole performance is just vivid, extremely vivid and full of character, and I just love this disc. The sonics are splendid in both works. You would never know that you're dealing with different orchestras in different locales in any meaningful way. I mean, the balances are beautiful in both cases. I mean, Bartoš is just a wonderful pianist. I mean, he just can't even turn a phrase that sounds routine. It's a great coupling. The works play off of each other really, really nicely. There's there's never a thought that, oh God, here we go, the Emperor again, or something like that. It's just a wonderful record. And I recommend it as strongly as I can recommend anything. And I really think you should give the Reicha a good, serious listen, because it's gonna have you smiling in the best possible way. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.